Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Let us read together from verse number 7. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha Manashasthani Indriyani Prakrtisthani Karshati Shariram Yadavapnoti Yachapyutkramati Ishvaraha Grihitvaitani Sayyati Vayurgandhani Vashayat Shrotraschakshusparchanancha Rasanam Ghranamevacha Adhisthaya Manaschayam Vishayanupasevate. Once the jiva is born, whichever way, in reality or in imagination, then the story of the jiva must continue. And what for the story is being told? To tell that the jiva was never other than Parabrahma Paramatma. And therefore, when they said that Gatvana Nivartante, means he has never drifted away from his own nature. Only in the imagination that he has drifted, and the moment this imagination is cancelled, dropped, he is already back to his own self. And therefore, this story continues. So, this jiva, whenever he leaves the body, present body, karma vashat, he will carry with him all the faculties. And when he enters another body, he goes with all the faculties. Just like the air carrying the fragrance or the smell from its own source. Now, Kani Punaha Tani iti, which are those senses, etc., which the jiva carries with him for experiencing. So, Shrotram Chakshus Parshanancha Rasanam Ghranam Evacha. Now we all know this. The ears, eyes, skin, tongue and the nose. Adhisthaya Manaschayam, and the Shashtam is the mind. Na Pratyekam Indriyena Saha Adhisthaya. Now this mind is associated with all these faculties, and Adhisthaya Dehastaha Vishayan Shabdadin Upasevate, and thereafter he starts Upasevate, experiencing, enjoying, doing the bhoga of these various objects which he has comprehended through the five senses and the mind. Now this is the story. Now let us go to the Tattva Chintan. What exactly happens? It is something like the nature of the mirror is to reflect whatever comes in front of that mirror. And in that reflection, in that act of reflection, or in that ability to reflect, there is no burden created on that mirror. It is not that the mirror will feel, if it is reflecting an elephant and he is with great difficulty holding that reflection, and when the elephant goes, now I am relaxed. Then the next thing, the ant comes. Oh, so cute. You can stay for a long period of time. No. In the same manner, our eyes, our senses, our mind, that is their nature to illuminate the respective objects that come in front of them. So up to here we remain in the Ishvara's Prakriti. So when the worldly objects, one example will take, colors and forms. When the colors and forms come in front of the eyes, they are illumined. Now colors and forms belong to the divine. The eyes, with their vision, ability to see, illuminate, that also belongs to the divine. And these eyes are the instrument through which the mind flows, and it is the mind which is comprehending these objects, that this is an object. Up to here no problem is created. The problem begins when the imagination begins. And you know the most funny part? Imagination is also the nature of the mind. See? Mind has got two faculties. First is to illuminate the object. Second is, after the object is illumined, we start, or the mind start projecting about that object. The second aspect of the mind is creating havoc. The first part of the mind, which is used for the collection of knowledge from this objective world, it is an asset. It doesn't create problem. And in the same manner, this faculty, this habit of the mind to go on projecting after every perception, and all these projections are put together, and that is called as the ego. See, it is something like the different grains are brought together on a photo film or in a digital camera, and an illusion of a face or a picture is made. But in fact they are not. It's only a virtual reality. Although it may appear exactly the same. In the same way, whatever is projected by the mind is not there, although it appears. For example, when I see this object, pencil, it is a solid reality, seen by the eyes, illumined by the mind. After this, when the mind starts projecting that this is beautiful, this is ugly, this is required, this is not required, this is useful, this is useless, this is the imagination part played by the mind. In the same manner, this jiva is a sense of knowership. I know. And thus a knower is born. And who is the knower now? This knower is the summation, the total of our total past. And therefore, the more the information we have, the longer the past we have, the stronger is our personality. See? Like the other day somebody came to meet me telling the problems and also talking wisdom. I said, I have realized through you the first chapter of Gita. What is that? Prajna Vadamscha Bhashya. You are talking all wisdom. Because you are having Satsang poisoning. You know everything. This is the problem of human mind. And therefore, this jiva is not there as an individual. It is just a phenomena. And the moment we recognize this, what we will do? We will drop this habit of projections. The moment we drop this habit of projection, you will see our life will have a different fragrance. And what is that? We will merge in the totality. What is the jiva? Jiva is like being an iceberg in the ocean. Iceberg is nothing but the waters. But that water which demands a spatial status and spatial recognition. And then that iceberg never supports life. He takes the life. But the water supports in the same manner. In this total phenomenal world, in the Prakriti, Mahabhutanya Ahankaro Buddhir Avyaktamevacha Ahankara iti yamme bhinna Prakriti Rashtadha or Ahankarevacha Indriyani Dashaikam cha Panchachendriya Gocharaha Ichcha Dvesha Sukham Dukkham Sanghatas Chetana Dhruti. So this is the Kshetra. This is common. There is nothing like it is mine or yours. This point, if you remember, I told you in the 7th chapter of Gita. When Bhagavan is talking about his Prakriti, Apara and Para Prakriti, normally the emphasis is given on the Sankhya aspect, the description of the Prakriti. Like Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kham Mano Buddhi Revacha Ahankara iti yamme bhinna Prakriti Rashtadha. Now in this statement, normal attention is given that Ashtadha Prakriti is my Apara Prakriti. But the more important thing is, Bhagavan is telling, it is my Prakriti, not ours. See? If this whole Prakriti, the phenomenal world, belongs to the Lord, so how can we ever think in terms of bhoga? The moment this attitude changes, your jiva bhava will disappear. Therefore, Shotram chakshus paracharancha rasanam ghranam adhishtaya manashchaya vishayan upasevate. And this story continues. Now this jiva through the senses and the mind goes on experiencing the worldly objects. You remember I told you long time back one story which appeared in the mountain path of Ramana Maharshi's ashram. That story, right or wrong, is a different issue, but I really like that story. I had told you, I think, that a king was told by his guru that next life you will be born as a pig. But you will remember everything by my blessings. So when you die, you tell your minister that this will be the type of the pig in which you will be residing as the jiva. And if he will come and tell you, you will remember everything, and then you can leave that body, again get born in the same family and continue to rule the kingdom. Okay. He tells his minister, he dies. Now next 1 year that minister is searching for the pig. And finally he gets one. And when that royal pig is brought, he talks to that pig and the pig starts talking back to him. He said that if I had known that this is the joy that I am getting in this pig's body, I will never want to become the king again. Because there, other than only the worries and tensions, I had nothing. Here I have no worries, no tension. I am really, really enjoying my life. See? That is why our Puranas tell the enjoyment of a Rasagulla by a Bengali or enjoyment of a filth by a pig is equally the same. There is no difference. Bhoga are the same. See, on that Animal Planet or Discovery, the other day I was seeing, they are showing somewhere from the Far East, Cambodia or somewhere, that one person, he used to collect handful of worms from the waters or wherever it is, and like we eat the chow chow or the noodles, like that he was eating. So the people who are seeing, they get, oh, what? But he is enjoying. See? Therefore, bhoga is common. Doesn't matter whether you are human being or animal. Because there is no individuality in that. Eyes don't have individuality. Eyes don't say, I will not see good things or bad things. No, whatever comes here is illumined. Therefore, this Jiva Bhava, which is mentioned in our scriptures, should be understood that it is Kalpitaha Eva. Don't take it too seriously and then go on creating an illusory, virtual existence and then suffer. This is what Bhagavan says in the 10th verse. Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudhananupashyanti pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. Utkramantam parityajantam deham purvopattam sthitam va dehe tishtantam bhunjanam va shabdadincha upalabhamanam gunanvitam sukha dukha mohakhyahi gunaihi anvitam anugatam sanyuktam ityartaha evam bhutam api enam atyanta darshana gochara praptam vimudhaha दृष्टादृष्ट विषय भोग बल आकृष्ट चेतः तया अनेकधा मूढ़ाः न अनुपश्यन्ति अहो कष्टम वर्तते इति अनुक्रोशति च भगवान. Bhagavan is getting disgusted. See, anybody who looks at the world of relativity is bound to get disgusted. Relativity has never given happiness to anybody. Now what is said here, Utkramantam parityajantam deham. The earlier body where this Jiva was residing, he has left that body, Utkramantam. Then sthitam va dehe tishtantam, and while living in the present body, shabdadin upalabhamanam, and then going through the various experiences of the Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha, etc. Gunanvitam, as a result of these experiences, experiencing Sukha Dukkha Mohakhyahi Gunanvitam, enjoying suffering, etc. Anvitam Anugatam Sanyuktam Ityartaha. Evam Bhutam Enam, this Jiva, Na Pashyanti Mudhaha. So Atyanta Darshana Gochara Praptam. Although it is so obviously clear, yet they are not able to see. What is the result? Why they are fools? Drushta adrushta vishaya bhoga bala akrushta chetaha. Because their mind is so preoccupied with the relative world's achievements and failures that anekadha mudaha. They are deluded in millions and millions of ways. And as a result, they don't see anupashyanti. Now see, what is meant over here is something like this. We all very clearly know that colors and forms are not seen by the eyes, then seen through the eyes. See, like, when I am looking out from this window and I see the tree. So shall I say that the window is seeing the tree? No. Behind the window there are functional eyes. So the window is only an instrument. Similarly, now I have got glasses on my eyes, so I am seeing through the glasses. So are the glasses seeing? No. There is someone behind the glasses. Go still further. Are the eyes seeing? No. There is the seer behind the eyes. And that seer behind the eye is the mind. And the mind by itself has no functional ability unless it is enlivened by the light of consciousness. So it is the consciousness for whom and in whose light, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati, in whose light everything is happening. So vimudha nanupashyanti. Why? Because so preoccupied with the colors and forms, how beautiful, how nice, And thus with every thought we go away from ourselves. So thought is the vehicle which takes us away from ourselves. And everything is recognized in this world through the agency of thought alone. Vimudha nanupashyanti. Oh, this is too... Let us have bhajan kirtam, Hare Rama, Hare. It is easier. See? Therefore, the first and the most important step on the spiritual path is this: acceptance of some entity other than the body and other than the senses and other than the mind. Unless this is accepted, we have not yet stepped on the spiritual path. Vimudha nanupashyanti. Now, who are the fools? They are all the time living in the objective world. Like, any experience if you take, then experience has got three components. One is the experienced world, second is the experience of the world, and third is the experiencer of the experience. Now, out of these three, where do we keep ourselves? Those who are extremely extrovert, they will be all the time keeping themselves with the objective world. So, I have got riches, I have got poverty, I have got wife, I have got children, I have got problem, I have got achievement. So, all the time they are at the periphery of their personality, lost only in the mamata. Now there are second type of people who are all the time lost about the experience. They are bhoga pradhan. The first one are called as artharthi. They are all the time talking about the worldly achievements and failure and possession or non-possession. They are living at the far away. Now bhogarthi, those who are enjoying this world or suffering this world, they are nearer to themselves. See, when I have got so much of bank balance and I am happy, means what? Money is in the bank and here I am happy. If the bank declares bankruptcy, everything is over. Now what is the bhoga? Experience. Experience brings us nearer to ourselves. Second thing. Third thing. Who is the experiencer? And it is here we start the inquiry about who is the experiencer. Vimudha nanupashyanti. Fools will not think about it. They will say, I am sukhi, I am dukhi. This is what Bhagavan says, sukha dukkha moha kehi gunaihi anvitam. Identification with the joy and the sorrows and creating a joyful and miserable personality. Now you decide one, whether you are joyful or miserable. Sometimes you are happy, sometimes you are miserable, sometimes you are high, next time you are hoo. Why don't you decide as to what you are? See? Vimudhana anupashyanti. Like, I remember that cartoon, Beatles cartoon, the sergeant was giving the orders to the whole parade. Left turn, right turn, about turn. And he was not moving. He was standing like this. Sergeant gets angry. Why don't you do that? What I am telling you. He said, you first decide which turn is the last turn. Every time changing. Left turn, right turn, about turn. Isn't it? In the same way, our is the same condition. Sometimes ha, hu. Why don't you decide what are you? See? Vimudhana anupashyanti. Therefore, friends, please remember, those people who are unable to observe the oscillations of their own being with the changes in the mood of the Prakriti. They are vimudha according to Bhagavan Sri Krishna. That is why samatvam yoga uchyate. What happens to us, when we are in a good mood, then immediately our purse is open and ha ha hoo, everything is there. Next time our mood is off, everybody go on fighting and fighting. See, this is what is called as the ego. Ego is that which doesn't exist. So we cannot be all the time angry, we cannot be all the time miserable, we cannot be all the time goody goody, baddie baddie. This comes and goes. So this temporary position which we take as the real, that is mentioned here as vimudhana anupashyanti. Now why they are not able to see? Drishta drishta vishaya bhoga bala akrishta chetaha. Because their mind is so preoccupied with this world or the other world. Extremely pulled. The word used by Bhagavan is Vishaya Bhoga Bala Akrishtaha. By the strength of the preoccupation with the enjoyment of this or the other worldly things, they are no more able to inquire about who is this, who is coming out and going out of this body. Therefore, friends, please remember this topic of jiva in our scriptures has to be dealt with properly. Don't give too much importance to the things that you hear or read in the lives of many Mahatmas. That, I know in the last life, the other day one Mahatma told, I went to some place and he's a Grihastha Mahatma, very nice person. So I went, I did Namaskar Chamatkar, and then I stayed with him for 2 days. And during that period, his wife was, preparing nice dishes and giving me and all that. So he said, Swamiji, after you have come, she is cooking better. I said, this always happens. This is my experience. But why this happens, do you know? I said, I know why. Because she is cooking for me for the first time or once. If it is daily, I will get the same treatment what you get. He said, no, I'll tell you. Oh, he said, Babaji. He said, I know very well, she was your daughter 2 lives before. So, I said, but I was not there anybody. I am always there. I had no question of earlier life, this present life. No, you are a gone case. I don't want to talk to you. I am telling you in general. Don't accept this preposition even once. Once you accept, you are gone. See? Never there was a time when we were not. Never there will be a time when we will not be. See? With this foundation only, Bhagavan Sri Krishna started his whole thesis in the 2nd chapter. When Arjuna was constantly complaining and talking the same thing again and again, Bhagavan started this common sense Upanishad. And therefore he has to tell that Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadhipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamataha param. Never there was a time when I was not there, you were not there, or the kings or the people on the battlefield were not there. They were there, they are there, they will continue to be there, because the reality is one, undenied by anything. But what we will understand, there are many kshetrajna according to the number of heads, and the same Bhagavan told us, kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. If this one hurdle is broken, you have done a big favor to yourself. This is the biggest hurdle. So what is the first step? Acceptance of ourselves to be someone other than the body complex, and therefore the identification with the body creates an illusory personality. So when I get identified with the gross body, the gross world, the waking experience, then I am a man, woman, young, old, educated, uneducated. And when this identification is dropped, then only with the mind, then in the dream, another dreamer is created. Deep sleep, everything disappears. Now who am I? Am I the waker or the dreamer or the deep sleeper or the one who is doing samadhi or the total of all of them? Who am I? So I am the one who is supporting the dreamer but was never a dreamer. I am the one who is supporting the waker but never was a waker. I am the one who is supporting the deep sleep but never slept. I am the one who is supporting the samadhi but was never in samadhi. Tvam stri, tvam pumanasi, tvam kumara utava kumari, tvam jirno dande na vanchasi. See, in Shvetashvatar we have seen recently. The more we focus attention on this, then Bhagavan says, Pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. Then our vision, divine vision has opened. Now ours is the charma chakshu. Ours are the muscular eyes. They can go up to the muscles, not beyond that. Therefore, drishta drishta vishaya bhogabala krishta chetaha taya anekadha mudha na anupashyanti aho kashtam vartate iti anukroshati cha Bhagavan. Bhagavan is feeling so bad. How come these people are not able to understand? You know what is the tragedy of Bhagavan's experience? Something like this. A father or a mother, they know that their son is doing terribly wrong and harm to himself. See? And they are helpless. Either he is a drug addict, or he is caught up in the wrong company, in the underworld, or he is getting involved, and the parents are seeing that he is going the terribly wrong way, but they are just helpless. In the same manner, Paramatma sitting in our heart, when he sees that a miserable personality is born, which is not there, and looking at the cinema screen or the TV screen, people cry. See? In the same manner, don't give any importance to this jiva bhava at all, as regards you are concerned, not with others. Otherwise, when somebody other comes with the miseries and problems, look here, you are Parabrahma Paramatma, okay? You are not the Jivatma. Jivatma I am. It is all subjective application. Therefore, what will be the sadhana? Sadhana is ye tu punaha pramana janita jnana chakshushaha te enam pashyanti jnana chakshushaha vikta drishtayaha ityarthaha. So, those who are pramana janita jnana chakshushaha. What is the pramana janita? Pramana means authority of knowledge. What is the authority of knowledge? Is the scriptures, Vedanta. Now, what is the declaration of the Vedanta about our own self? That we are the body, we are the prana, we are the jiva, we are the papi, we are the punyatma. No. Prakrute kriyamanani gune karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudhatma karta aham iti manyate. Everything is happening in the Prakriti. And he is fool. And he is not an ordinary fool. He is sitting in the car. Ahankara. He is not a bekar. He has got his own car. Ahankara. And therefore, vimudhatma. And therefore, jnana chakshush is he who has changed his vision. And the vision change takes place when your convictions change. When the convictions change, vision will change. And convictions change when tyage naike amritatva manashu. You are ready to give up what is concluded to be wrong. Then only. No, that I understand. We should not be moody when we have to stay together with everybody. We should be loving. This is okay. But I cannot. Then you are not a seeker. Make it very clear to yourself. Two things are required. One is readiness to change ourselves. Second thing is the ability to change ourselves. If we don't do this, we are already labeled by the Lord. Vimudhana anupashyanti. We will never be able to grow spiritually. Therefore, pramana janita jnana chakshushaha te enam pashyanti. So those who have got this right vision, they alone see this truth. And when this vision changes, our interaction with the world changes. See? Suppose this has happened. In one place I went, there was a big queue. I was standing also in the queue. And then one person has entered, in Shirdi. One person has entered straight away, in between. Then the other fellow got angry who was standing behind. And when I pulled him down, how can he go in front? We are all standing here in the queue. And he went. And he pulled that person. The moment he pulled, he happened to be his friend. अरे तू यहाँ कैसा आ गया? Automatically, the reaction and anger, everything gone. Earlier, he was seen as an enemy. Now, he is a friend. See? Now, what has changed? Only the vision has changed. Earlier, he was a useless man breaking the queue. Now, he is my friend. Look here. Therefore, friends, all that we have to do is this. Pramana janita jnana chakshu. And for that, there is no compromise on study of the scriptures. There are many people who very sincere, but they get carried away by the so-called spiritual practice. It is called in Hindi, Ganga gaye Ganga Das, Jamna gaye Jamna Das. And they'll go to Vrindavan, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe. Then they'll go to Varanasi, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Bam Bole Maharaj. Then they'll go to Chitrakoot, Rama Siya Rama May Saba Jagajani. Immediately Murari Babu comes there. And then they go to Haridwar Rishikesh, everything is thrown, and then Vedanta. See? And the ultimate thing is, they are neither here nor there. Therefore, please remember, hold on only to the authority of the scriptures. All others are the bylanes. Don't get carried away. Another important point. There are many Mahatmas, like Nisargadatta Maharaj, like Shirdi Sai Baba. If we have to take the direction on the spiritual path, we must not leave the scriptures. What we should take from them? Inspiration. Authority is the scriptures only. Because when you are walking the spiritual path with this authority, you will not go stray here and there. Why I am telling you this? Because, see, you go to many places, there are many devotees of great Mahatmas, and see their life. They are not interested in the truth. There is only a competition. Who is closer to this Swami? Who is closer to that Swami? And there is a politics. And Hare Ram, 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 Ram. Therefore, Pashyanti Jnana Chakshushaha. Our vision can change only when we hold on to this Pramana Janita Jnana Vritti. Now, how do we develop this jnana vritti, if we or if we don't, what happens? 11th verse. Yatanto yoginaschainam Pashyantyatmanyavasthitam Yatantopyakrutatmano Nainam pasyantyachetasaha Yatantaha prayatnam kurvantaha yoginaha cha samahita chittaha enam prakrutam atmanam pashyanti ayam aham asmi iti upalabhante atmani swasyam buddhau avasthitam. Yatantaha yoginaha, those yogis, those sincere seekers of the truth, and yatantaha prayatnam kurvantaha, they are putting all sincere efforts. There is no replacement for sincere efforts. There is no thing which can replace that. We have to put sincere efforts. It is not like, engaging a Panditji and telling, will you please do the Mrityunjaya Japa for my health? By that, Panditji's health become good, So there is no proxy. Yatantaha yoginaha. Now who is the yogi? Bhagavan Shankara says, yoginaha samahita chittaha. Samahita chitta, those whose mind is now fully samahita means what? It has come back in the right manner back to the source. See, it is something like, many times when I pack my these wires, mic and all that, sometime forgetting, I just put them together and put it back. Next time when I have to take it out, it becomes a big problem. In the same manner, when we control our mind under compulsion and insistence and under drugs and the drinks and all exhaustion, that is like, a crumbled mind. That is not samahita chitta. Samahita chitta is that mind which is educated, trained, and as a result of which it is able to go back and come out with complete freedom. Like we switch off our computer. We don't switch off the computers just like electric fan. There is a method. We first of all close all the windows which we have opened, and then we go step by step, and then it is closed. In the same manner, samahita chitta, the mind can become completely withdrawn to the self only if it is trained. And for that, yama niyama asana pranayam pratyahar dharana dhyan samadhi trayam ekatra sanyamaha. All this put together is meant here, samahita chitta. Yatantaha prayatnam kurvantaha yoginaha enam prakrutam atmanam pashyanti. They are able to see this Paramatma. How they are able to see? Ayam aham asmi iti upalabhate. That means this Parabrahma Paramatma, which is other than the body, who is functioning through the body, but who is not the body, in this manner they are able to see themselves. Now see what is happening. When I am able to stand apart, then alone I am able to recognize that that thing is not affecting me. See how important it is. It is something like, just an impossible example. There was a man who went in a boat for boating. And after that, he came and the boat was parked in the sea and he came on the ground. And after having come on the ground, he kept on moving like this. Hey, what are you doing? See that boat is moving up and down. So what? No, when I was sitting there in that boat, that time I was doing like this thing. But now you are not sitting in that. Oh, I have forgotten. Our condition is exactly like that. If you feel this is too impossible an example, take another example. Go to Calcutta at your expense and watch the football match. But don't look at the ground. Look at the people when there is a penalty corner. Everybody is doing like this. So much identification. See the children in Bombay. The other day, somebody came with me with his mother in the car. And in the car he was continuously doing like this thing. Then I asked the mother, has he gone mad or what? She says, Swamiji, you have used a decent word. He has gone mad, crazy. Non-stop, he is only doing that. As if he is bowling, as if he is batting, as if he is catching. See? So, if we have to recognize this truth, what is required is samahita chittaha. Samahita chitta means that mind which is fully and completely at our disposal. That is samahita chitta. Otherwise, one moment we are spiritual. And such people's expressions. Today's meditation was so good. I really enjoyed. It was reminding me of Kesi Rasgulla from Esplanade, Kolkata. So nice. Please remember this moodiness is not a spiritual practice. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Why this happens? Because yatantaha api. They are not samahita chitta, therefore it happens. So, those who have got these two aspects now, prayatna kurvantaha, putting all sincere efforts, and they have the right instrument, samahita chittaha, enam atmani swasyam buddhau avasthitam pashyanti. They are able to see this reality as expressing through the mind, not as the mind. It is something like this, When you open 4 or 5 windows on your computer, then you very clearly see that there are different layers on which each window is operating. Vimudhana anupashyanti. But those who are not studied that, they will not understand. They will be only surprising. पता नहीं ये कंप्यूटर कैसा आ गया है? ये तो बड़ा गजब का हो गया. You don't have to give certificate to the computer engineers in the same manner. Swasyam buddhau atmani avasthitam pashyanti. Such people who have these two things, yatantaha and samahita chitta, they are able to recognize that absolute reality as their own being. And the second character now, yatantaha api shastradi pramanaihi. What is the second character? They have studied the scriptures. They are able to give good lectures. They have heard many Mahatmas. They have gone to many ashrams. You name the Upanishad or the text, they have already studied. Pramana janitaihi shastradi pramanaihi yatantaha api akrutatmanaha asanskritatmanaha tapasa indriya jayena cha duscharitat anuparata ashanta darpatmanaha prayatnam kurvantaha api na enam pashyanti achetasaha avivekina. So they have, as regards study is concerned, they are perfect. But the other part, asanskrita atmanaha, their faculties are not under their control. Now who are those? Tapasa, they have never practiced tapasya in their life. Purification takes place through tapasya. You know the meaning of the word tapas, original meaning is tapa, that itself creates the word tapa. Tapa means heat. Vishasmad vatap pavate vishodeti suryaha. So this tapa, heat. Now unless we are subjected to the heat treatment, impurities will not be burned. And for that, the first meaning of tapasya is readiness and ability to go through the difficulties of life with a smile on the face and love in the heart. Unless we are tolerant, we cannot walk spiritual path. Many people, they are having zero level tolerance. They just cannot tolerate anything in this world. And such people are lonely in the crowd, isolated, thrown away. And then they have only complaints about the world, that the world is very bad, because they are not done tapas. The second meaning of tapas is, and that of Bhagwan Raman Maharshi, this I like the most. Before we come to Raman Maharshi, in between step. Tapas is the readiness to give of one's own choice is called as tapas. For example, suppose somebody is standing on two legs and he tells that I am doing tapasya. We will not accept it. Then somebody is standing on one leg, and that too in the deep waters, up to the chest, and what is doing with the hand up? Om Bhurvu Swaha Tasavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat Om Bhurvu Swaha. What is doing? Maha Tapasvi. Why? Instead of standing normally on the ground, with one leg he is standing in abnormal posture. Who has told him? Anybody compelled? No compulsion. He himself decided. So the self-accepted ability to go through the difficulties of life is called as tapasya. And by that, our antakaran becomes pure. We are able to conquer our faculties, our mind. Now the third. If tapasya tells us to give up the impurity, like the gold is burnt in the fire, so that all impurities goes and the gold becomes more and more bright. What is the impurity in us because of which the gold that we are is not shining bright? Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukham tatvam pushan apavrunu satya dharmaya drushtaye. In which Panchadashi which chapter? Ishavasya Upanishad, 15th mantra. So, our purity is covered by the impurity of the ego. And therefore Bhagwan Maharshi, Raman Maharshi's definition of tapasya is aham apetakam nija vibhanakam mahadidam tapo ramana vagyam. The real tapasya is giving up the source of all impurities. And the source of all impurities is this I. Therefore don't glorify that ego. And how do we know whether the ego is functioning or Paramatma is functioning? One day, one lady asked me this question. She said, Swamiji, I just want to know, I have started feeling that I am Brahman. But nobody appreciates. So I don't know to whom to ask. So you are a Brahman specialist, so I come to you. You know, I told you yesterday, this is the highest torture for me. When it is the time to laugh, I cannot laugh. Now when I am telling you this story, you are enjoying. But when it happened with me, I was suffering. You can't laugh. And they will come, elderly people, grown up, from good family and all that, they will come with all seriousness. Swamiji, pranam. You know, that typical Marwadi type of pranam, they will, they will have the face like the, camel. Camel never makes the head down. So, Swamiji, Brahman have become, people don't accept, at least you will appreciate. Yes, I said, Amma, why you only? Everything is Brahman. No. Then I just want a confirmation from you. I said, okay, I hereby certify that you are also Brahman. Now tell me, then I said, Amma, please tell me, are you playing riddle with me? When we play riddle, we ask questions, isn't it? Suppose you come to me and ask me a question. Swamiji, tell me whether I have hunger or not. So how will I know? You tell, I will not know. In the same manner, if you feel you are Brahman, you should know. Why should ask me? Whenever you have got any doubt, Parabrahma, Paramatma is a doubtless existence. See? Therefore, it is such a subjective experience which cannot be spoken of. Therefore, if our ego is really given up, how do we know? There is only one sign. And that sign is, when we never get hurt, when we don't carry or create guilt in our mind, when we are not disturbed by anything in this world, then alone our ego is on the process of getting erased. Mundaka Upanishad will tell us, Vijanan vidvan bhavate nativadi. The one who is established in this absolute reality, he is not obsessed. He is not egoist. He does not insist for anything in this world. Like Parabrahma Paramatma supports everything. The wisdom of the wise and the idiocy of a fool. Everything is supported. And if we have discovered that reality, we can never be obsessed with everything. Therefore, asamskritatmanaha, those who have not gone through this training of tapas, and this is the highest tapas, aham apetakam, and this can happen only when we are able to merge with the totality. You know, I'll tell you what is the meaning of ego. When I am in front of the children, like the parents or the grandparents, when I am in front of the children, immediately I start telling them, don't do this thing, do this thing. Means I have not been able to be childlike when I am with the children. See, if I am able to be childlike with the children, full of life and zest like the youngsters, and disgusted like the elderly people, everywhere with the same ease, then alone my individuality is not strong. Those who have got very strong individuality, they will never be able to tolerate anything. Like, it so happened, in that Amrut Bela camp, we used to have camp, one of the camps. Children were there, about 100, and we used to have a lot of fun. And the owner of that camp, that ashram came. And earlier the person was very good and very good friend of mine. So he used to tell me, Swamiji, please come here. I used to go there with the kids. 100, 150 like that. And now that owner came from UK. And such a strong-headed man. Because you have money, you don't have everything. Now the children were playing and enjoying and all that. And I said, don't suppress the children, let them enjoy. And when they were shouting and playing, this Mahatma got angry. And he said, why these animals are brought here? Who brought them? When the children heard that they are being called as animal, they became so disgusted, angry, and they came. I said, okay, let us see what happens. So immediately I came to Kaivalyadham and everything was arranged here, things went all right. So, what is that kind of spirituality where we cannot tolerate anything? See? Therefore here, not undergoing through tapasya. And when we undergo through tapasya, indriya jaya, all our senses come under our control. Dhanendriyas, karmendriyas, indriya jaya. And the third one, duscharitat anuparata. And if we are not having a perfect conduct according to the norms of the society, then fourth thing, ashanta darpatmanaha. They are ashanta, always disturbed, agitated, complaining, frustrated, and darpatmanaha, considering oneself to be plus one than everybody else in this world. Friends, you know, the most strongest ego is the ego of suffering in life. A person who has gone through a lot of sufferings, that person has got a very strong ego. All the time. You know, when we were children, we used to swim and go to the school. When we were children, we didn't have proper clothes to put on. We didn't have proper food to eat. We used to study before the electric lamp on the street. And what is this? Only that strong ego is talking. See? Therefore, such people, they are studying the scriptures, they speak, they go to Satsang, but they have such a funny character. Everybody shuns them away. See how Bhagavan beautifully brought it out. Yatantaha pi akritatmanaha nainam pashyanti achetasaha. Do you know why this happens? This happens because they apply Vedanta on others and devotion on themselves. What should be done? Vedanta should be applied on ourselves and love and devotion on others. This does not happen. And therefore they are akritatmanaha. They have not taken care of their own instrument, the antakaran. It is something like, you may collect the milk. Now this example is also becoming obsolete these days because milk comes packed. So suppose you take the milk in a pot and that pot was not properly cleaned, it was having some kind of leftovers from the last night, the milk may be good. But because the pot was not properly cleaned, even that good milk starts becoming bitter. In the same manner, scriptural knowledge may be wonderful, but if the instrument in which that knowledge is gathered, if that instrument is not susanskrit, he is not purified, he is not cultured, then such people become a great problem to themselves and to everybody around. And for that purpose is the yoga abhyas. What yoga abhyas does, he is cleaning the total inside. Therefore, yama, niyama, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, every step is the cleansing process. So yatantaha api akritatmanaha na enam pashyanti achetasaha. And why they are not able to see? Achetasaha avivekinaha. See, when the knowledge is not applied, it is accumulated as information. When the knowledge is accumulated as information, it becomes a load on the mind. And whenever we are under any load, we can never enjoy life. See? If somebody is carrying a huge suitcase on the head and is walking, hey, how is the walk? Nice, good day. What good day? Remove this. He cannot enjoy. In the same manner, we carry the load of knowledge. You know, one place I read, the signs of old age. You know, one of the signs of old age is when you have answers for every question, but nobody asks you any question. Then you understand you have become old. Then why that? Only because collecting information but not practicing in life even 1%. There are many people we come across, you feel only pity for them. They are all the time attending all the satsangs, going everywhere, but as regards their life is concerned, it has not bloomed into a beautiful garden of wonderful fragrant flowers. No. There are only weeds of kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. That alone is flourishing without any control. Avivekinaha, achetasaha na enam pashyanti. Because this topic comes in Chandogya Upanishad also. Our Naradji Maharaj one day was going with a head hanging down, very depressed mood. And this Sanat Kumar, Sanatan, Sada, etc., these four brothers, always cheerful, happy, always at the age of 5. They don't grow more than 5. And Digambara, no jhanjat of putting on pant, shirt and nothing after that. And cheerfully, happily coming. And they saw this Naradji. Naradji, what happened? You are the devotee of the Lord. And what happened to you? Why your face is hanging like this? Nothing happened. It's okay. Nothing happened. Then why are you, feeling frustrated? It is seen on your face. Okay, I'll tell you. What is that? I have studied 64 Vidyas. And yet, I have not discovered that peace, that joy, that happiness. So earlier I had only one misery, that I am ignorant. And I was in the majority, so there was no problem. Now what happens? Everybody tells me that you go to Satsang, you have studied Upanishad, you have studied Bhagavad Gita, you have studied this, you have studied that, and even then you behave like this. That makes me more miserable. See, it is so true. Because if another example I'll give you. This happened in Delhi. I was going with Amma. One Amma, she was driving the car. And she jumped the red light. Police came and caught. And police, what he could say? He should take money, give the ticket and over. He said, I will give the ticket over, but I will not leave you like this. So she said, what will you do? He said, I want to tell you, people educated like you, when they behave like this, where will our country go? So, more than paying that 200 rupees fine, this statement of that police, that when educated people like you behave in a irresponsible manner, that made her more miserable than 200 rupees. Is it not? In the same manner, when the knowledge is gathered. Therefore, Shastra pramanaihi yatantaha api. They know everything, but it is not manifesting in their life because they have never taken care of the instrument through which they were receiving the knowledge. As a result, they have received the milk, but when they wanted to serve, it became curds. In the same manner, at the time of listening, they have received the Vedanta, the knowledge. But at the time of giving, it was only the bitterness and not the love, not the purity. They are called as achetasaha or vivekinaha. And therefore, yat padam sarvasya avabhasakam api agni adityadikam jyotihi na avabhasayate yat prapta cha mumukshavaha punaha samsarabhimukha na nivartante yasya cha padasya upadi bhedam anuvidhiyamana jivaha ghatakashadaya iva akashasya amshaha tasya padasya sarvatmatvam sarvivaharaspadaam cha vibhukshuhu chaturbihi shlokaihi vibhuti sankshepam aha Bhagavan. Now the next 4 shlokas are what? Yat padam sarvasya avabhasakam api agni adityadikam jyoti na avabhasayate. That which cannot be illumined by the sun or the fire, who are the illuminator of everything, that reality having attained which again one doesn't return back to the relative existence, that reality, because of the conditioning of these panchakoshas, start behaving as if a jiva, as if a part of that absolute reality. Tasya padasya sarvatmatvam. That reality is the support of everything, and therefore everything in this world, the Jiva Jagat Ishvara, they are his vibhutis. To tell that, the next 4 verses explain how there is but one reality, and the plurality born out of the Jagat, the Jiva, the Ishvara has only one substratum. And he who knows this substratum, yad gatvana nivartante taddhama paramam mama. That is that absolute reality. This is how, in the next 4 verses, Bhagavan Sri Krishna will take us step by step. And again here you will see some of the Upanishadic mantras are restated with little differences. Yada dityagatam tejo Jagad bhasayate khilam Yachandramasi yachagnav Tattejo vidhi mamakam Gama vishya cha bhutani. Now these 4 verses tell this divine principle from different conditioning, starting from the distant and comes to your own self. And what is the sequence and how this becomes a great spiritual exercise. This is the topic we will take in our next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.